Hello Panda friends, we're off for another adventure. It is the last weekend of April and Mr. Panda and I decided to take a long weekend and head to Ilwaco, Washington. We just entered Cape Disappointment State Park. I thought I'd show you a little view from the Beards Hollow viewpoint. We just arrived at Cape Disappointment State Park. Mr. Panda's up ahead getting a discovery pass, which is required for parking and adventuring in the state park. This campground has cabins and RV spaces. There is a jetty for fishing. Here we've arrived at Waikiki Beach. It's not quite as warm as our friends in Hawaii, but pretty nice for a Washington April day. We're going to walk over and look at the interpretive sign here, but this is a lightkeeper's residence that you can rent and stay the night in. Okay, we've just discovered that this is the lighthouse keeper's residences. There are several. We'll show them to you. And it's a half-mile loop out and back to the lighthouse itself. And it's very well paved and the grade isn't too bad. It appears that there are people staying at the residence house and they have a hot tournament of bocce ball going. I just discovered that when you get past the residences, it's not wheelchair accessible. This segment of the trail is definitely not accessible. Here's a view of the residences from the handicap accessible trail. We just went the difficult way on the way out to the lighthouse.
Good morning, this is Mr. Panda with Mrs. Panda. We got the Panda pups with you. We're getting ready to turn and go down the bay side of the Long Beach Peninsula, and we're going to take you to historic Oysterville and show you some of the original homes and the school and church. And we will talk to you again when we get down there in about 10 minutes.
We've stopped at the Nakata Tidelands on the bay side of the Long Beach Peninsula. The Long Beach Peninsula is in southwest Washington, right north of the Columbia River. And our campground's at Ilwaco, which is in Ilwaco. This is north on the peninsula, but not quite to Oysterville. And this little bay here is the only public oyster farming. It's seasonal and it's surrounded by private leased oyster farms. But this little area right here is seeded by the state of Washington Department of Fisheries for recreational harvesting. We've never done oyster harvest before. We do clam harvest, but I thought we'd share this spot with you today. You can see Mr. Panda and the pups headed out to the oyster beds.
We're here at the Oysterville approach on the Long Beach Peninsula. We're heading down to Ocean Park to get some snacks at one of our favorite stores and to get some sunscreen because we forgot it at home. We'll talk to you guys later.
Here we are, set up on the beach between Ocean Park and Long Beach. Gonna have a picnic for the day and catch a few rays. This morning I thought I'd give you a campground tour. It's Saturday morning of our camping weekend. We've had great weather the last couple days. It's overcast this morning, but it's not raining, and in Washington, that's a win. I'll give you a tour of the Ilwaco campground. This campground has a few recreational activity amenities, including a nice horseshoe pit and tetherball. There's volleyball and nice trails. The section I'm looking at right now is the tent camping site. I think there's probably 20 tent camping sites. Our friends have stayed here in the past, and it's actually pretty nice and close to the restrooms. The restrooms at this site are very, very clean and nice. This end of the campground has partial hookups. Most of the campground is partial hookups with about 10 or 12 full hookups and a dump station. This is the east end of the campground. Just south of the tent camping area are the full hookup sites. As I said, there's about a dozen of them. And across from them are camping cabins for rent. I believe this used to be an old KOA site, but it's been updated by RV and Style. And south of the camping cabins is the newest section of the park. These are back in partial hookup sites. And behind this trailer there is the actual Ilwaco River for which this campground's named. I haven't actually walked back there to see if there's access, and I'm probably not going to do so because the grass is wet. I will say, as far as accessibility, the campground's level, but there are no handicap facilities. So keep that in mind.